Dante had learned, over time, that distance did not always mean absence. Sometimes it meant presence held at the edge of restraint, visible, felt, and deliberately unclaimed. It was harder than leaving. He stood across the street from the bookshop again, the lights inside casting warm rectangles onto the pavement. Evening had settled in, not dramatically, but with the quiet insistence of routine. People passed him without looking twice. He had perfected that skill centuries ago, existing just inside the threshold of notice. Through the glass, he saw her. Evelyn moved between the shelves with familiar ease, a book tucked beneath her arm, her fingers trailing lightly along the spines as she passed. She paused at the counter, made a small note in pencil, then looked up suddenly. Not at him, but toward the door, as though something had tugged at her attention. Dante felt it too, that subtle shift, that quiet alignment. Distance, he realized, was no longer neutral. He crossed the street before he could reconsider. The bell chimed as he entered, the same small, tired sound it had made the first time. Evelyn looked up, surprise flickering briefly across her face before softening into something else, something warmer, steadier, as though his presence resolved a question she hadn't known she was asking. "Hi," she said. "Hello," he replied. The word felt different this time, less cautious, still careful, but no longer guarded. He took off his gloves. The motion was small, deliberate, and not lost on her. Evelyn watched his hands as he set them on the counter, bare now, human in their stillness. She noticed how pale they were, how steady, how familiar they felt, though she could not have explained why. "You came back," she said. "Yes," Dante replied. "Not, I couldn't stay away. Not, I had to see you. Just the truth." She nodded, as though that answer satisfied something in her. "I was hoping you would." That surprised him more than anything else. They spoke for a while, about nothing important, and everything beneath it. Books, the shop, the quiet satisfaction of arranging things so they made sense. Their conversation flowed too easily, skipping the careful pauses of strangers and settling into a rhythm that felt resumed. At one point, Evelyn laughed, a soft, unguarded sound, and Dante felt the echo of it ripple through him like a memory remembered by the body rather than the mind. This was dangerous. He knew it. And yet, when she asked if he wanted to stay for tea, gesturing vaguely toward the small kettle behind the counter, he said yes. They moved to the battered armchair corner. Evelyn paused, then fetched a chair from behind the counter and set it beside the armchair without comment. They sat close, cups warming their hands, the shop hushed around them. Time did something strange then. It did not stretch or compress. It simply settled. Evelyn studied him over the rim of her mug. "Do you ever feel like you've done this before?" she asked lightly. Dante paused, just for a moment. "Done what?" he asked. "This," she said, gesturing between them. "Met someone. Talked like this. As if the conversation had already started somewhere else." Careful, he reminded himself. But he did not lie. "Yes," he said. "I do." She nodded again, as though confirming a private theory. "I thought so." The shop lights dimmed automatically as evening deepened outside. Somewhere beyond the glass, the city moved on. Inside, something quieter took shape. When it was time to close, Dante helped her stack the chairs without being asked. He reached for a book she dropped, their hands brushing briefly, a small, accidental contact that sent a sharp awareness through them both. Neither pulled away. At the door, she hesitated. "Will I see you again?" He looked at her, truly looked, and felt the old instinct rise, the urge to retreat, to protect, to vanish. And then he felt something else. Resolve. "Yes," he said, "if you want to." "I do," she replied. He did not come the next night, or the one after. But when he returned again, it was with intention earlier this time, while the shop still held the quiet murmur of customers. Evelyn noticed the absence first, then the return. After that, he came more often. Not every night, but often enough. They learned about each other, a shared glance, a moment of silence that lingered. The way she leaned closer without noticing, the way he stood, just a fraction nearer than necessary. Once, reaching for a book on the highest shelf, she missed it by inches. Without thinking, he stepped in behind her and lifted it down. For a breath, his hand hovered at her waist, not touching, not leaving. She leaned back slightly, enough to let him know she felt it. He withdrew at once. "I'm sorry," he said. "For what?" she asked. He didn't answer. Later, sitting side by side in the armchair corner, their shoulders brushed. Neither moved away. Her head tipped briefly toward his, not resting, not retreating. He closed his eyes. This was how it always began, and how it had always ended. It happened quietly. No declaration. No tension snapped. They were standing near the counter, close enough now that distance had lost its meaning. Evelyn reached up, fingers brushing the edge of his sleeve, not testing, not hesitant, just present. Dante caught her wrist gently. "Evelyn," he said. "If you're going to leave," she said softly, "do it now." He didn't. Instead, he lifted her hand slowly, deliberately, as though every inch mattered. He rested his forehead against hers, not touching, not retreating, giving her time. She tilted her head slightly. The kiss was careful, brief, unmistakable. Reverent rather than hungry, a promise rather than a claim. For a heartbeat, the world narrowed to warmth and breath and the unbearable rightness of it. Then he pulled back. Not far, just enough. She didn't follow. She looked at him, steady, open, changed. "That," she said quietly, "felt inevitable." "Yes," Dante replied. His voice was rough now, honest in a way it hadn't been before. "We need to talk." She searched his face, saw the gravity there, and nodded. "Yes," she said. "We do." He stepped back, not in retreat, but in resolve. Because staying without truth would break them both. And Dante had not waited centuries to fail her now.